What's going on, fellow A-Plusers? It is I, your more phenomenal host, as always, Adam Perez, back once again with a brand new review as we're set to go ahead and get into episode 19 of DonBrothers, ladies and gentlemen, as we're actually almost towards the halfway point of this season and officially caught up with this show, even though we do have ourselves episode 20 dropping this weekend. So we'll see if I could definitely keep up with episode 20 for you guys next week. But I'm really glad that I went ahead and binged these episodes to go ahead and certainly get caught up. I continue to love this series, honestly. Episode 19 was just an okay episode for me, though. Nothing wrong with that, but one that I certainly took something certainly away from and certainly had a good time certainly watching it. There was something about the whole love story, seeing Haruka's sort of connection with the ghost in here, her having her own little bit of relationship drama with Homeboy from a couple of episodes prior, would just run away to his mommy all the time sort of thing. He's apparently still reaching out to Haruka, which I find absolutely hilarious. But for me, I guess this episode maybe hits a little bit close to home in the sense that I'm old enough to remember payphones, you know? So I love that little brief introduction into this episode in regards to payphones, when they first were established, especially over in Japan, when they were really like at its height, and even to the point of where like the last remaining payphone is kind of gone, whether that be from that town that they're in or from the country in general. I do remember even reading reports out here in the States of like New York getting rid of like their last payphone, which for me is just crazy considering the fact that that's all I grew up around in the city. I felt like you found a payphone on every corner or whatever the case may be. So just shows you how times have definitely changed. And even like hearing Haruka's mom talk about how the idea of, you know, communicating with people that you care about and love is definitely different these days. You know, reaching out to your boyfriend, you know, trying to avoid having your conversations overheard by other people. You know, I remember in my high school, when I was going to high school, there were plenty of times, especially like my senior year of high school, me trying to reach out to my girlfriend and things like that. And even though I did have myself a cell phone, you know, every once in a while, I would definitely go down to a random phone booth and certainly try and reach out to her and definitely talk to her through that way from time to time. So there's certainly elements that I can definitely relate to, but I thought this episode did a great job of like a historical reference when it comes to phone booths, the relationships people have in regards to communicating with each other via telephone, and then really get an opportunity to see our main storyline here in regards to the ghost of what is the lady's name? I wrote it down. Minako. And her connection, if you will, to a past love of hers that she used to make phone calls with in Shinzo. So we've got Minako and Shinzo in this particular episode. So really great introduction. Kind of got me invested a little bit, honestly, when it comes to really learning the story about Minako. As when this episode does begin, we do see ourselves with the Hitatsuki. It looks like he's this particular monster's facing off or fighting off telephone workers that are there to certainly go ahead and remove the last remaining phone booth that they certainly have in the area. And we see our DonBrothers certainly get involved. But once the battle ends and the Hitatsuki disappears, it's Haruka who actually notices a girl inside of the phone booth and goes up to, you know, talk to her. I believe she mentions she believes that the girl probably was in hiding because of the Hitatsuki sort of thing, and she goes to go ahead and let her know, like, hey, things are certainly okay, and immediately sort of makes a connection and a bond and some sort of friendship with her. And so to kind of see Haruka going back and forth, right, to kind of figure out what's going on with this girl, quickly come to find out that she's actually a ghost. One of the things that I continue to love about Haruka as a character, the actress that plays her, I think she's got some of the best sort of facial expressions in regards to any situation that she certainly finds her in, and it definitely just adds to the level of humor to the episode also. So I really gravitated towards the idea of Minako here now becoming sort of best friends, connecting herself to Haruka, who now finds herself in a situation where she's got to kind of help this ghost out in regards to being able to free herself instead of necessarily being trapped here in this particular world. So I had some fun with the idea of her being a ghost for sure. I really even appreciated the Don brothers, like certain ones of them, like Saru brother and Kiji brother, having to like hold their breath in order for her to become aware, or at least become visible to them before they certainly asked her any questions and stuff. So to kind of see their freak out was priceless. But I still have to ask the question and beg the question, how is it that people like Kaido, like Momotaro, like even Tsubasa, like how is it that they can see her with ease, yet you've got Saru brother and Kiji brother who really have to focus and hold their breath in order to kind of see her? It is one of those things where I wonder if Monako herself, if she's, because of the fact that she finds herself kind of infatuated or in love with them, or thinks that they're Shinzo, if she's making herself noticeable to these men. So I'm wondering if that's what was certainly happening there. If you guys think that it's something else, or that these three characters have some sort of connection to something that makes them see her, please let me know in the comment section box below. But I do wonder if it's a sense of, because she was just, you know, heart eyes to these three fellas, I wonder if she made herself visible to them. I even love the little perv joke that we wind up having when you got Momotaro trying to like touch her or like reach through her sort of thing, and he does like this grab motion as he goes through her midsection sort of thing. It definitely did make me chuckle. It's just like, look, man, look at these writers trying to throw in these little pervy jokes from time to time. Like there was even another pervy joke in this episode too, when she's going on the dates with our Don brothers, right? The idea of her, she met up with Inu brother, I believe, mentions how much she loves dogs, and we've got Inu brother who just happens to turn into a dog for her. And I love the little comment she makes to Haruka in the sense of, yeah, he didn't really want me to tell you everything that was certainly going on, as we're watching her literally pet his head and his helmet and his ears and stuff. Like, yeah, I don't really want to know where the rest of the petting took place, so like just keep that to yourselves, to certainly say the least. But it definitely made for some great humor. The opportunity to see somebody like Momotaro, who, you know, I actually really appreciated the Momotaro stuff, because I believe he's mentioned one time when we got the Kiji brother episode with him that he kind of admired Kiji brother, or whoever it was, that he's able to make women smile. And Momotaro mentioned the idea that he doesn't think he'd ever be able to make another woman like, or anything like that, smile, right? So I believe that's what he said. So to be able to see him interacting with the female, being open-minded and intuitive enough to be like, hey, have you ever gone skydiving, and then literally flying her around? I mean, it's such Superman and Lois shit. It's perfect. You know what I'm saying? So I can easily see why she would love an adventure like that. And Momotaro accomplished what he wanted to in making her certainly smile. And I think it was, who was the other person that she wind up going on a date with? Kaido, which Kaido rolls up in like his Super Dave or stuntman bicycle outfit. I have no idea what the hell he was wearing. There is a part of seeing him dressed up like this that makes me wonder, is this the Kaido we know, or is this somehow like the God Kaido that we got introduced to in Zenkaiger, coming back and just flaunting his stuff? I certainly have no idea, but the fact that other people were sort of attracted to what Kaido was wearing and wanted to come around and take photos with him, let's just say the date didn't definitely go so well, and she actually referred to him as a cheater in the sense of being okay with the idea of other people looking at him and doing all this other stuff sort of thing. So not certainly what I was expecting, to say the least, but I did get a kick out of the idea that she went on these dates with these three Don brothers, even though none of them certainly worked. What I did like, though, going back to sort of the romantic ghost storyline that we have in here, again, I think the themes of the phone booths, Haruka and her relationships, and getting the opportunity to see like these long lost loves, if you will, reconnecting. There was something very sentimental about it that I really kind of took away and had a great time watching. A sad story to say the least, especially getting to see that they fell in love, never got the opportunity to see each other, always, met up at a certain time to go ahead and have these phone calls and stuff, only for her to unfortunately get hit by a car and pass away and not be there for, their conversation like she usually is. It's definitely that type of stuff that certainly creates ghosts and keeps them around, to say the least. And so to be able to finally get the opportunity to speak with Shinzo. So shout out to Kiji brother for not only recognizing the name, but also finding his contact information, as they certainly worked together in the past, and really allowing him to finally get that closure for not only himself, but most definitely for Minako in here, when it comes to her and the Shinzo storyline. So I thought it was really sweet, very sentimental. Definitely, I don't want to say got me choked up, but I definitely really enjoyed the love story that we wind up having here. And I even really appreciated the fact that it's not until she certainly gets her closure that our Don brothers can even attack this Hitatsuki. The fact that a Hitatsuki can still even be born from a ghost, not even necessarily a living person. Like, I feel like that's even a new sliver in what these digital yokai can certainly do. So I did find that relatively fascinating, and then once they do have that conversation and understand, and what's even sadder too is that she still didn't get the opportunity to see Shinzo, and I know maybe she would have freaked out in his old age, but I mean, she clearly is aware of the time that has definitely passed. I believe it's like 50 years or something like that. So there's a part of me that probably wishes they had gotten the opportunity to have seen each other. But I thought it was very fitting that it be done during a phone call. And so I thought that was some pretty interesting stuff. And yeah, man, Haruka continues to be just such a strong character in here. Her and Don Momotaro are easily my favorites out of this particular season so far. And so the fact that they continue to have her at forefront and center, definitely getting these spotlight episodes and stuff, I think is doing wonders for this season, as I'm a really big fan of the actress that winds up playing Haruka in here. Quick honorable mention, Don Murasame is certainly back. Kind of random, definitely kind of random. We saw Don Draguku try and get involved in the battle with the Hitatsuki in this episode, but before he can, Don Murasame winds up showing back up and gets involved in a little bit of a fight between those two. I will say this. I still have my speculations and theories and questions in regards to what's going on here. There's an element of this mother that's talking, and I feel like anytime that this mother talks, we see almost like these hypnotizing waves or something like that. Like, I wonder if it's a sense of mind control, if it's maybe the sword that's providing that mind control and that ability for mother to certainly talk through them. There are moments when I feel very much like the voice that I'm hearing is a female voice, maybe male, but kind of still adolescence in the sense that, I don't know, maybe he doesn't necessarily have a deep voice. Like, there are situations in this episode, just trying to look at body style, and even in the previous episode, I'm thinking to myself, is this a woman underneath this costume? I mean, the Murasame costume doesn't have a skirt like Oni's sister, so it definitely makes one think, like, is she a female under there? Is she not? For me, it's really the voice and maybe some of the movements. So I don't know. I'm kind of under the impression that this is a female when it comes to Don Murasame. But I feel like I recall even in the previous episode hearing a male's voice at times too. So I'm getting all different types of mixed signals from Don Murasame. And considering the fact that this is the second time that this character has fought and then retreated, I do wonder if it's a sense of like, are you just trying to gain knowledge in regards to how these characters fight, and then you kind of go back and come up with a new game plan, or are you legit trying your hardest to fight back, but our Don brothers is just that much more powerful and they're literally running you off? So I am kind of curious if this character is running, or if it's all part of a bigger plan to kind of make their presence known and maybe learn a little bit more about them. So I do find that pretty interesting. interesting. But outside of that, guys, I felt like we had ourselves a pretty straightforward storyline. Not too many sort of juggling pieces in here outside of the Murasame pop-up. But other than that, the Haruki, Shinzo, and Manako storyline really worked for me here this week. Episode that I walked away certainly enjoying and hitting a little close to home, certainly in certain areas. But look, guys, listen, at the end of the day, these are simply just my A+ opinions. I certainly want to go ahead and know yours. You know, the action was a little bit on the lame side for me, just because it's the case of, you know, they're slashing and attacking and they're not really doing any damage, and it's not really until the very end of the Zord battle when Manako certainly accepts her fate and kind of moves on to the other realm that our Hitatsuki then really becomes sort of vulnerable. So, I mean, you know, great stuff, maybe special effects wise, but overall, solid episode with a solid story and great character work, to say the least. But listen, guys, at the end of the day, these are just my A+ opinions. I want to know yours. If there's anything that I missed, character moments, storyline details, let me know your thoughts in the comment section box below. We'll definitely continue this conversation until next week's episode. But until then, guys, do me a big favor. As always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.